and this is a comment made from Jerry Seinfeld on a podcast from the New Yorker magazine.
Nothing really affects comedy. People always need it. They need it so badly, and they don't get it. It used to be you would go home at the end of the day. Most people would go, oh, Cheers is on. Oh, MASH is on. Oh, Mary Tyler Moore is on. All in the Family's on. You just expected there'll be some funny stuff we can watch on TV tonight. Well, guess what? Where is it? This is the result of the extreme left and PC crap and people worrying so much about offending other people.
Did he say Mary Tyler Moore?
Badly, and they don't.
He did say Mary Tyler Moore. He did say MASH. Cheers. Dog, that's 82, 85, 87, 76. What is he talking about? Jerry? All right. Let's keep going. Tim. Come on.
Get it. It used to be you would go home at the end of the day. Most people would go, oh, Cheers is on. Oh, MASH is on. Oh, Mary Tyler Moore is on. All in the Family's on. You just expected there'll be some funny stuff we can watch on TV tonight. Well, guess what? Where is it? This is the result of the extreme left and PC crap and people worrying so much about offending other people. When you write a script and it goes into 4 or 5 different hands, committees, groups, here's our thought about this joke, well, that's the end of your comedy. They move the gates, like in skiing. Yeah. Culture, the gates are moving. Your job is to be agile and clever enough that wherever they put the gates, I'm going to make the gate.
Wow. Jerry got a little spicy. Jerry, my spicy friend. Okay, so Jerry says, man, comedy took a hit. It took a hit because wokeism. Wokeism came about. And ruined comedy, man, because once upon a time, we had all these great shows. All in the Family. The concept of a old bigoted white dude, the equivalent of him standing up every show going, get off my lawn, darky, get off my lawn, Asian, get off my lawn, Hispanic, Mexican, or whatever. You know, and don't get me wrong, sometimes I think All in the Family also has some redeeming stuff to it, but it was, make no mistake about it, it's like a World War II vet who's like hates everything that's not traditional white stuff. And that includes women working outside the home. But that's what you talking about, Jerry. That's where you think things should still be. MASH was a comedy, but it really wasn't. It was on the backdrop of the Korean War. I mean, I get your point, but I didn't like MASH much when it was on. I mean, I was a little kid. I do remember I had a neighbor when we moved to this other neighborhood. It was a white guy down the street. He was a vet. He was obsessed with war type shows, and his kids who I played with, hung out. We rode bikes, dirt bikes and shit. They used to watch MASH. He used to watch MASH, so we'd see MASH, but we didn't watch MASH in my house. But I know what he's talking about. And I remember Callahan or whatever her name was, Hot Legs or whatever her name, Hot Legs, Halligan or Monahan. And I remember some of the characters. I remember the guy who dressed up like a woman who wanted to get out. So we had a transgender guy, but he really wasn't. He was just trying to get out on a special thing and saying that he has issues. But it never worked for him. He said in there. And I remember Radar. And I forget the main, there was a couple main characters in there, a couple main doctors who worked at the triage unit for war victims. Not your run-of-the-mill type comedy. I mean, there was a lot of death in MASH. Even Radar was one of the bright shining lights of the show, and he wants to go home, and then his damn plane blew up. So I'm wondering what jokes, none of these shows. Now, Cheers was funny. I like Cheers. Didn't watch it all that much because it was around the time when the Cosby Show and Different World and Sisters, Girlfriends or whatever, and, different, there was other things to watch. So, but I get his point, though, and I don't want to take him all verbatim because Jerry Seinfeld is a comedian. And he's also entitled to make his jokes. And I also don't want to be dismissive of his point, because I don't think he's just blowing smoke. I mean, he may actually feel, and he would know better than us, how the industry has changed as far as what you can put out. What you can put out and who gets to check it over and what they're looking for and what's the criteria and all that good stuff. And maybe remember, Jerry's 70 years old, so he did Seinfeld like 30 years ago. Was it 30? Many moons ago. So has comedy changed that much on TV? I'd say, yeah. First of all, Jerry, no one watches TV anymore. Not if they have a choice. You might be stuck in a hotel somewhere that you don't have cable or something. You might be forced to watch the channels on your local network, but nobody watches that shit, Jerry. And when it comes to cable, there are funny shows. People say Abbott Elementary is funny, and I think it's pretty funny. I've watched it a couple times. I am still wondering why that Jamaican sister blocked me on this show. I don't know. And that's Shirley Ralph. I never bothered her on Twitter. I never said a single word to her on X. And then one day I'm looking on X, I see her name, I click on it, it says, her profile is blocked. So she blocked me. Must have been on my anti-Biden talk, or my pro-black talk. But yeah, that's the show. It's funny, But there have been other shows that have been funny. Maybe just not your flavor. Curb Your Enthusiasm. I know you got something to do with that, Jerry. That does well. Before that, it was The Office, and there was several funny shows. If you guys know some funny shows that have been out for the last decade, throw it up in the comment section. Let me know, because as it comes to mind, like I got a few on the top of my head, but not a lot. Maybe you know some funny shows, and you could also let other people know about some comedy, that's out there. Yeah, man, I'm not going to dismiss it. I saw people like, oh, shut up, Jerry. There's no more black exploitation shows. That's not true. Go to Netflix and watch that Good Time show. You'll see some black exploitation films. Cartoons, even. Comedy cartoons. But, yeah, people were like dismissing Jerry. Like, Jerry, get out of here. Ain't no more Amos and Andy. There's no more of this, cookie cutter type of half misogynistic, half racist type comedies out there for the middle-aged white guy to enjoy, while everybody else kind of takes it on the chin. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to do that, because Jerry been around a long time, and I think Jerry is in a better position to tell you what kind of hurdles you got to jump through to get something on TV nowadays. And as I'm thinking, it's not like I'm rattling off all these shows, but I got to assume part of it is Jerry doesn't watch cable TV. Because cable has a lot of channels, and on cable, you can find something. Like there's some comedies on cable, whether it's a Tyler Perry or a Tubi or something on Max or something on Netflix or something on Prime. There's a lot of different channels, right? And then there's this thing, Jerry. You may have heard of it. It's called YouTube and TikTok. Yeah, a lot of the cutting edge stuff is being produced by like regular people who want to put some content out there. There's some funny stuff, man, going on, just people doing their own production. So I disagree partly because I think there's a lot of creativity on the internet that you're just not exposed to, George. It's just have no reason to listen to their demos. You're not getting the mixtapes. You're waiting for the big networks to put it out. The big networks can't even compete. That's why something I think I talked about this last show. I noticed that all these news anchors that once upon a time used to laugh at people on YouTube and on Twitter and Instagram, used to laugh at us. And now all of them have joined us. Now they want to compete up with us on our platforms that were supposed to be independent for independent voices because ain't nobody watching them. Ain't nobody watching CNN or MSNBC or CBS or ABC like they used to. People still watch it, but they're like 70 years old, 75. They're Jerry's age, which Jerry just basically told us. So, yeah. The future, brother, Jerry, is not in TV. The future is in the internet and streaming in social media. That's the future, bro. So come on, man. Step into the light. Last point on this. I'm real tired of hearing people complain about wokeism. You know, how can I say this, man? I get some things do go too far. Hell yeah, they go too far sometimes. Way, way too far with getting upset with every little thing. I mean, they just label you as a woman hater, as a homophobe or racist, or just kind of quickly. And sometimes it's just a miscommunication. But people are not giving people the grace to not know something. They just assume there was malicious intent behind it. If you say something that's not the way they say you're supposed to say it, they assume that you know, and you're just being an asshole. Like you're trying to hurt people or something, which I totally disagree with, you know. But that I have a problem with. But so what? No, seriously, so what? So what if a couple people get upset, man? Whatever you're putting out, it's not for everybody. So it's okay for some people not to like what you put out. If everybody likes what you put out, then you didn't put out anything worthwhile. Yeah, that's the way to put it. If everybody could tune into the Tim Black show and was like, I love this show, then I'm not doing shit. Because in order to get a point across, in order to stand up and fight back or speak out or call it out, somebody got to get their feelings hurt. Somebody going to be feel a certain kind of way. And if you're being too careful, then no one's feeling any kind of way. And that includes interested. That includes engaged. So, yeah, I'm not in the woke. Let's blame woke for all things bad, right? But I see your point with it, but I don't think you can scapegoat it and say it's all because college kids and liberals are so determined not to have comedy exist. Nah, man, tell your jokes, do your thing. Just know some people are not gonna like that shit. They're gonna push back on your content, and it's up to you to decide, are you just trying to get a rise out of people? Are you just saying stuff because you want to get people pissed off? Just know it's a price to pay for it. So if you're being authentic and this is how you really feel, and you're willing to take the slings and arrows that come with it, you feel good about it, you can stand 10 toes down on your content, on your point of view, and that's the price you pay in the new age. Yeah. You got to say what you believe. See, man, this is what I've learned, right? I've learned that sellouts aren't just politicians. Nah, man, if you think selling out is just politicians, you tripping. It's sellouts in all forms of everything. It's sellouts who won't go to bat for you on your schools, on your school budget, or your school menu for your kids. It's selling out. It's sellouts when it comes to what kind of music gets put out. They don't want to put a certain kind of music out, even though it would be better for the kids to get to, or young people in general, or just for the general psyche of the world, right? The general vibe, the energy of everybody, right? But they don't want to put that out because they can make more money putting out some trash. That's called selling out too. It's not just your typical Democrats or your typical Republicans. It's also all other forms. And yes, that includes comedians who don't want to push the envelope, man. Make innovative, creative, bold statements and make us laugh at the same time. Some of them want to just play it close, play it safe, keep their day jobs. This is why I go after people like D.L. Hughley and Earthquake to a lesser extent. Like, what's up, man? Y'all just cozying up to the Democratic Party. Where's the revolutionary spirit in that? Where's the boldness in that? See if you can use a $10 word when a $1 or $2 word would fit, in order to try to position yourself as more of an intellectual giant or something. When all you're really doing is just caping for Democratic Party. Where's the funny in it? No jokes in it, just ass kissing. So yeah, man, like, you know, these people, like, Jerry's not criticizing his own craft, which I think he should do. Jerry Seinfeld should be criticizing comedians who aren't pushing the envelope, who are more worried about can they get a gig doing a Washington's correspondence dinner. And I didn't even cover that this year because I already know that dude from SNL who just did it. I already know, just knowing his comedy, I know he's going to sell his soul, sort of like Trevor Noah did. And I say a damn thing that's quotable, worth repeating, that ain't about Trump. So, Jerry, there's a lot further Jerry Seinfeld could have went, but he ain't go there. And that, too, is selling out. And when you got a multiple, Jerry Seinfeld's got to be worth nearly $500 million, and he don't even have the guts to call out sellouts in his own industry. He don't even have the guts to call out all those people that phoned it in on their specials, who don't push the envelope.